6 years ago, this channel started as a gaming channel, and I constantly posted gaming-related stuff for 3 years. Then I disappeared for another 3 years. Most of my friends thought it would be over for me. I would never really do YouTube again. It was just a little passion thing I had for a bit. But then when I came back, making a Murder Drones video, everything changed. Today, March 3rd, 2026, marks the 6-year anniversary of this channel. And today, I'm going to be answering some of the questions that you've all asked about this channel and about me. So let's start with our first question. From Comrade Roshan. You have multiple questions, let's answer them all. What is your second favorite indie show? My second favorite indie show definitely has to be The Amazing Digital Circus. And I think it's always been The Amazing Digital Circus. And the reasoning is, Has-Been was my favorite for a long time until Murder Drones came in. And I will always love Digital Circus, and I'll always love Has-Been, but for me, Digital Circus surpasses Has-Been Hotel, and Murder Drones simply surpasses them all. And I love The Amazing Digital Circus. It's such a complete show. The reason why it's also higher on my list is because it has more episodes, and also has Michael Kovac. Any show that has Michael Kovac, I will love. It will be my top 5. So yeah. Question 2, what is your favorite color? Easy, my favorite color is blue. I've used blue for a lot of stuff in my channel, especially my thumbnails. I try to use the color blue a lot often, but it's really hard to. But as you can tell, my PNG, my logo, they're blue. The audio waves I use, some of them are blue. I just love using blue, and I try putting in as much things as I can, but I can't put in everything, unfortunately. What made me love German tanks? In 6th grade, I was always a World War II nerd. And I was always a history nerd, and that's a part of me. But one of the things that I loved were tanks. And German tanks just fascinated me for some reason. Maybe because of the fact that they were super over-engineered and they had so many different variants. But I just genuinely like German tanks. Question 4. Why do you think Murder Drones was in your cup of tea when you first saw it on this channel? That's pretty simple. So at this time, this would be my sophomore year of high school. Yes, sophomore year. I had just finished watching Has-Been Hotel, and I watched like the first couple episodes of The Digital Circus. Murder Drones was something I was recommended. I watched like the first 2 minutes of it. It wasn't my cup of tea, but also during this time, I didn't accept my personality that I was. I was kind of hiding it, like secluding myself. Like, first of all, my love for indie animation was kind of me just counteracting what I was expected to be in high school. And my passion for indie animation, especially going into art and trying to do animation, I was never that kind of kid. So for me, once I went into college where no one really cares what you do, I kind of opened up my wings and like tried to embrace that side of me. And Murder Drones was one of those things that allowed me to embrace the more creative side of me that I'm still trying to discover. I haven't fully discovered that creative side of me yet. So, in conclusion, it wasn't my cup of tea because I wasn't ready for the show at the time. What is your favorite Murder Drones character? Well, I'm just going to have post-production me say it, but based on what my post-production me is going to say and show, I have a bunch of N plushies. I have 3 different t-shirts with N. I literally am ordering a camping N plushie. I literally spent $250 on Animini's to get an N, not realizing I could have done it online with glitch and everything. You learn your lessons the hard way, folks, but I very much love N. That's my screensaver or my wallpaper on my phone. Actually, no, my phone's just under Murder Drones wallpaper, but my laptop and my main PC have N as my background picture. Yeah. So, of course, N is my favorite character, voiced by Michael Kovac, and N kind of represents being naive, innocent, this guy who's trying to please everyone. So yeah, that's why I love N. From Snowcloud, what do you think about Murder Drones AMVs? Now I'm going to assume when you're talking about Murder Drones AMVs, you're talking about animated music videos. And I'll say this, I really loved the Living Tombstone collab with Murder Drones. I've used it for like 2 videos as evidence. Oh my god, it's amazing. Those 3 minutes, it's an amazing song, and just the way they pace it and everything's amazing. But if we're talking about the fan-made AMVs, they're also amazing. I appreciate that we're getting Murder Drones content, and I don't care if it's in music form or anything. And in music form, it's slightly more enjoyable because you can just listen to it in the background. From ASE_1YT, you watch anything Skibidi Toilet related, memes, show, fan-made projects, etc. Skibidi Toilet, an indie show that I refuse to ever cover and will ever cover. For me, folks, you gotta understand, I was born in 07, I'm 19 years old, I literally just turned 19, like less than a week ago. Yeah, when I was in high school when Skibidi Toilet became a thing, I never paid attention to any of it. I'm the one person, like, I don't use TikTok at all. I upload on TikTok so infrequently. I use Instagram and YouTube. More Instagram now. So, I never really got the brain rot and memes of Skibidi Toilet. At most, I just heard the annoying music and that's it. But, I really did not watch that much Skibidi Toilet. I literally cannot say anything on it. Not really on the memes or anything. Like I said, I was literally probably was I a junior or was I a sophomore? I forgot what grade I was in. It's like a couple years ago. Second question. Do you think that glitch is suppressing smaller indie creators just because they can't reach their level of quality and fans now expect a higher quality? I think this answer is like a double-sided thing where you can say yes and no, but I'm going to say no on this. And the reason is this, I don't think everyone has high expectations for indie shows because we all know that they don't have these big budgets. For example, one indie show that I've been trying to cover and I'm probably going to make a video on soon is Heathens. Heathens has such a small budget where they're not going to have even a full episode this year. We're not expecting an episode until 2027. And they're working day jobs still. So I think for these smaller indie studios, do they have this disadvantage and expectation that they need to bring high quality? Yes, they do. They do have that disadvantage where people do expect high quality. But the thing is, most of these studios usually deliver on it, and what makes indie shows so amazing is their quality. Compared to a traditional show made by an animated studio like Disney, they try to prioritize quantity over quality, so each individual episode doesn't feel as emotional, while with indie animation, each episode, because of the quality and the time that's put into it and the amount of time it takes, we appreciate them more, and there's more enjoyment in those episodes. There's more focus put on those episodes. There's more importance on those episodes. So I don't really think Glitch is suppressing smaller indie creators that much. From Comrade Roshan again, what is your favorite tank? The Panzer IV. I have to say the Panzer IV. I love the Panzer IV. It's an amazing tank. If you know anything on history, it was probably the best tank the Germans had in World War II. The issue is they tried making 50 million variants of it when you should have just mass-produced one. But that's a history tangent for another time. What is your favorite dinosaur? Very important. Film Fury asked it for a video. Or asked it in a video, sorry. My favorite dinosaur. That's pretty interesting. I would probably say a velociraptor. Now, when I'm talking about the velociraptor, I'm not talking about the 2-foot-tall velociraptor. I'm talking about velociraptors in Jurassic Park that are big, very intelligent and everything. That's what I mean by velociraptors. So yeah, I would probably say the velociraptor. 3, what is your favorite Murder Drones Fury? Okay, easily probably my favorite Murder Drones Fury is probably the one that I've actually covered on this channel, which is probably Eva is Still Alive, because it was a Fury that had just came to me all of a sudden. Like, that was never supposed to be a video planned originally. Like, I never had it on my planned list, but I had a random thought. I was like, oh, I think Eva's still alive. And then I look into it, I'm like, okay, well, it kind of makes sense why Eva would be alive. And if V killed Eva, wouldn't V had gained some of Eva's solver powers? Or wouldn't Eva had been in V? So I did more research on it, and I was like, oh, I think Eva's definitely alive. So then I do that, and yeah, that's probably my favorite theory, because that was something that I came up with myself. I did not use any outside resources. I literally looked at outside resources, and they were pretty close to what I was saying. But yeah, that was something that just came to me naturally. It wasn't something like I read it off Reddit or something. So yeah, that's probably my favorite theory. From Cyril Designation _A. Will you talk about other indie shows? Yes, I will probably most likely be talking about other indie shows. Now, the fortunate truth is, this channel, most of you, when I put out polls, you all vote like 70% murder drones and like 20% digital circus and 10% on the other stuff. So I think I might have to remove murder drones as an option for all of you to vote on now. But no, jokes aside, I will be covering these other indie shows. The month of March is really weird because we have Digital Circus episode 8 coming out, and that's kind of more on the priority board. But after March, when we have our like drought of nothing happening, I'm gonna cover Heathens, I'm gonna cover Ramshackle, I'm gonna cover Toot and Turf, I'm gonna cover Catching Up. I have a bunch of these smaller indie shows I'm gonna slowly cover and talk about their pilots and everything. But yeah, I'll eventually be talking about more indie shows. There's just a backlog full of murder drone stuff and digital circus stuff that I'm gonna probably have to get done first. From Blanker Dang, wait. It's D Blanker Dang, the YouTuber that is one of the reasons why I did YouTube again. He commented on my video, yes! Okay, but his question is, what video are you the most proud of? Ooh, that's an interesting one, because I could say for a lot of videos. And I'm going to put this on 3. There's 3 videos that I'm the most proud of. I'll say the first video I'm probably the most proud of is probably going to be my thoughts on Murder Drone Season 2. This was my first attempt with like messing with like different type of styles of like editing and everything. And it was also my first major video that made me want to do YouTube even more, so I'd probably say my thoughts on Murder Drone Season 2 is probably high on that list. Another video that's also pretty high up there is Newsy. The Newsy video was just fun to film. I'll probably make a part 2 to Newsy. It was just a fun video to do. It was like, oh, let me talk about a ship and murder drones, and it was fun to talk about. I tested some newer stuff. That's when I started getting Fujitech in, and I was able to finally test out these new things that I've been slowly trying, adding the PNG tuber stuff and all that stuff. But the video I'm probably the most proud of is easily my end video, because I feel like that's my highest quality. That's where quality was never really sacrificed. I spent a lot of time on the thumbnails. I spent like a good 3 hours on thumbnails. Like, I stayed up till 12 a.m. in the morning, even though I had college next day and I had a test next day. So that was really fun to do. But also, I started messing with the audio wave stuff. I was just messing with newer stuff on YouTube. So typically the videos I'm more proud of are the ones where I try to experiment more with my editing style, or I experiment more with putting scripts down. Like, especially my newer videos, they've all been having scripts. This video is completely unscripted, by the way, but most of my future videos will have scripts. That's why the Jax video is going to take its time. But I think that's all the questions we have. We do have one last question, by the way. And this was asked very early on, and I've answered part of it. Why are you called PanzerVerse? Very interesting story, but this channel was originally called Panzer Plays. How did I get up with the name Panzer Plays? Combine Panzers, which are German tanks, with Plays, boom. That's my gamer tag. That's usually my user for a bunch of stuff. Now I've been changing it to a bunch of other stuff now. But yeah, Panzer Plays was this channel's original name, and I was like, I want to play homage to my old channel name and everything. I'm like, I want to keep the Panzer thing, because I like being called Panzer and everything, because it sounds kind of cool. So I do that. Add verse to it because universe and stuff. So yeah, that's how I got to PanzerVerse. pretty interesting backstory. It has more lore, but if you want to get the full access to the lore, we gotta reach 1,000 subscribers, folks. Then I'll talk about my true journey with YouTube. Yeah, that's all the questions we have, I think. Oh, shoot, my friend Remix Nova, after forcing him to give me a question, is giving me a question, folks. He asked, will you ever make Minecraft videos again? That's a good transition to our next topic. Okay, no, but the truth is, maybe, but that would either be on my second channel, which I'm going to talk about, or on this channel in very rare cases. So let's actually talk about the future of the channel. At this point, folks, the video is pretty much over with the Q&A portion, so you can leave if you want to, but if you want to stay for the future of the channel, I do have some pretty big news to talk about. Maybe something involving a merger in Season 2 type stuff. But let's actually talk about what these news are. So, you've probably been wondering why my upload's been, less. College, life's been busy. I've been ill for 2 weeks, had an ear infection, I got ill. I then afterwards tore my calf muscle playing basketball. So, I had a really interesting 2 weeks of just constant injuries. So, that was a reason. College, I had some exams, I had some stuff to do. But besides that, my goal is I want to try to increase quality over quantity now, because I feel like that's the best thing to do. So that's why videos are going to take longer. I'm scripting them, yada yada. We all know that. Another reason why these videos are going to take a little longer is I'm trying to learn how to animate 3D animation with Blender. And I'm learning this for another reason, but the main reason why I'm learning this is I want to learn animation and actually start making animation, and that'll be something I'll post on my second channel. Another thing I wanted to announce is, on my second channel, which I put down here, I'm going to be talking about commentary stuff. That's basically the channel where I'll post whatever I want to. The uploads might be more frequent, they might be less frequent, I don't know. It'll just be me posting whatever I want to, gaming content, me just talking about life, me talking about random stories or something. So, just want to say that. But let's go to the big news. So, you've probably been wondering, hey Panzer, what happened to that Murder Drone Season 2 thing you were talking about? Well, pretty interesting story. So, I've not written anything on Wattpad lately, but the goal is, there's a road plan I have for this. For my own version of Murder Drone Season 2. It'd be like Murder Drone's, would I call it New Dawn? Or New Ages? Something like that. I haven't fully finalized the name yet. I will eventually. What's it? Oh yeah, Solver's Rising. Sorry. Solver's Rising, I think, was the final name I came up with. But yeah. The plan with that is, so far, I'm going to write it down in book form, and I'll release it on Wattpad, and later I will release it on the channel as an audiobook thing with VAs and everything, doing their own lines, and my goal is eventually to animate it. The question is, when will the pilot release? Because I'm a one-man team, and I'm a broke college student, so I can't even hire an animator, and his channel's not even monetizable, so that's the other thing. Most likely 2027, the middle of it, maybe. I want to try to make a really good one, so it's going to take time to make a pilot. But yeah, that's something I've been working on. I'll have more announcements for it, like some things will be, I will share like character designs that I have. Another thing would be VAs, so in the future I'm going to need VAs for this. So far I don't. So far the way my VA process is working is I'm getting my friends to do it first, and at that point then I'll start asking people. But yeah, the roadblock is I spent 2 months learning how to animate, I started getting models ready, and then by the middle of summertime I can show some kind of teaser or something. Hopefully. And I have most of the story done for like the first couple of episodes or chapters. I don't know how I'm planning it. This is still in its early stages that I wanted to announce. But yeah, I think that's all I have for that related. But yeah, if you have any questions on that, I'll make an entire post on it or something in the future. But yeah. Yeah, I think that's all we got today. Today feels like a big day. 6 years since I've done YouTube. 6 whole years. And I'm 320 subscribers, which I'm quite proud of being at 320 subscribers. But I'd love to reach 1,000 subs. That'd be a great achievement, folks. Remember, please like and subscribe, share the video, comment down below, do everything for the good word of the channel. I want you to learn a little secret. And got a girlfriend. Now, because one of my friends didn't do his research, I got a bootleg Uzi. So, don't tell N that his girlfriend's fake, but I'll have the two lovebirds do the outro today, folks. You know, I just want this to be a simple, easy video. And I'll hopefully see you all next time on PanzerVerse. Panzer out, folks.